Welcome to your ultimate pit stop, Piston Pundit. In May 2025, Elon Musk sent shockwaves through Washington, pulling Tesla from federal EV talks, freezing SpaceX's Pentagon ties, and throttling Starlink's military role. As U.S. policy tightened, BRICS nations opened the throttle, fast-tracking Tesla's tech, AI grids, and satellite networks. From Brazil to China, Musk's empire is accelerating beyond America's regulatory grip. In this video, we break down the turning point, the BRICS boost, and the backlash from Washington, unpacking how one of tech's boldest players is redrawing the global map of innovation. Buckle up. The road ahead is anything but conventional. Here's how Musk flipped the script, and where it's headed next. The turning point, federal fallout, and Musk's response. On May 14, 2025, during a packed congressional hearing, Elon Musk delivered a thunderclap. If innovation is punished in the US, I'll take innovation to countries that still believe in it. 72 hours later, he proved it wasn't a bluff. Tesla formally exited federal EV infrastructure talks. SpaceX suspended Pentagon collaboration. Starlink paused military-related coverage assessments. And Musk? Radio silent. There was no flashy press release, just quietly severed ties that Washington couldn't ignore. The tipping point? Trump's push to gut EV mandates, slashing billions in green incentives, combined with calls for less oversight. The Pentagon had also requested override access to Starlink during wartime zones. Musk refused, citing neutrality, and he had precedent. Starlink limited access over Crimea in 2023, and similarly over Gaza and Taiwan in 2024. The cost? 2 canceled defense satellite contracts. To Musk, the message was simple. If the US moves the goalposts, he'll take the ball elsewhere. This wasn't showmanship. It was a calculated detour for Tesla's entire infrastructure roadmap. But as the US partnership crumbled, opportunity knocked elsewhere, fast and loud. BRICS and beyond, infrastructure deals take center stage. As Musk peeled away from Washington, doors flung open across the global south. Brazil fast-tracked a nationwide EV charging grid deal with Tesla. India approved Starlink's rural expansion in underserved states, projected to cover 90% of Tier 3 zones by late 2025. Even South Africa, after months of regulatory stalling, finally greenlit Starlink access. But the real quiet power move? Tesla's AI-powered energy systems are now operational in China. Without a tweet, Tesla embedded its grid balancing software in Guangdong's industrial zones, an AI role that Western firms like Google and Nvidia have been shut out of for years. This pivot wasn't a protest. It was a business strategy redefined by geopolitics. Brazil filed for Starlink spectrum to serve its rural education network. South Africa's parliament debated broadband equity with Starlink at the core. Russia? Leaked documents hint at collaboration on emergency comms. And India? Despite US pressure to stall approvals, Delhi made it clear. Their tech policy serves domestic goals, not foreign agendas. Washington may hesitate, but BRICS nations are charging ahead, embracing Musk's innovations with enthusiasm that DC seems to lack. But enthusiasm abroad triggered retaliation at home. Washington wasn't about to let this go unanswered. Before we dive into that, hit that like button and subscribe to Piston Pundit. We break down the gears turning global innovation, from the shop floor to the Senate floor. Subscribing helps us bring more high-octane content straight to your feed and keeps you in the fast lane. US retaliation, tariffs, probes, and policy pushback. Of course, Uncle Sam wasn't going to let this slide without a counterpunch. In late March 2025, the Trump administration rolled out sweeping tariffs, 25% on imported automobiles and parts, and a universal 10% tariff on general imports under emergency trade powers. These broadly hit parts used in EVs and rare earth supply chains, but were not narrowly targeted at Chinese batteries or specific green technologies. Tesla, reliant on all three, felt the heat. Almost instantly, it disengaged from all remaining federal charging corridor partnerships. EV grant talks? Canceled. Then came the probes. The Treasury launched a preliminary review into whether Tesla's exports to Brazil's utility sector and China's grid could be considered dual-use technology under CHIPS Act rules. While not outright bans, the scrutiny sends a message: oversight is tightening. Tesla pushed back, asserting its energy systems are purely commercial, not defense-grade. Still, the damage was done. Musk-linked firms were quietly removed from the National AI Strategy Group and the Federal EV Infrastructure Forum, with officials citing misaligned national interests. Musk clapped back online. If DC wants full control, let it build its own networks. We'll build where we're actually needed. What we're witnessing isn't just a business breakup. It's the unraveling of a once thriving public-private alliance. From now on, alignment with Washington isn't assumed, it has to be earned. And as the US shut doors, Musk found even more room to accelerate beyond its reach. AI and energy unleashed, the rise of Musk's multipolar empire. As Washington tightened the reins, Musk simply shifted the map. Tesla's energy optimization AI, software that adjusts grid loads in real time, silently went live in China. There were no splashy marketing campaigns, just regulatory approvals and quiet integration into the country's state-linked power networks. Not even Google or Nvidia could get that kind of access. Meanwhile, in Brazil, communications records confirm Starlink expansion plans are fully greenlit for underserved zones. South Africa's parliament debated making Starlink a pillar of its national broadband rollout. Russian leaks revealed tentative collaboration on emergency satellite systems. Across continents and political systems, Musk's tech is flourishing. India's response was particularly telling. Even with US officials applying diplomatic pressure to delay Starlink's rollout, Delhi moved forward, emphasizing that its priorities lie in national infrastructure, not in appeasing foreign objections. Analysts now frame Musk's strategy as the birth of a multipolar commercial network, one that deploys tech where it's welcomed, not where it's ideologically pre-approved. And even in areas where the US pulled back, like defense, SpaceX's commercial launches and xAI's international partnerships never missed a beat. From Singapore to the UAE, Musk's ecosystem is expanding, largely beyond the reach of Washington's rules. That expansion, however, wasn't limited to tech. Musk's entire industrial footprint was shifting too. Global repositioning. What comes after Washington? By mid-2025, the transformation was complete. Tesla secured land near Shanghai for new battery production, gained unusual exemptions for software localization, and established Grid AI joint labs in Anhui. These deals would have been unimaginable for most Western firms, but Musk got the green light. Starlink, meanwhile, inked agreements across BRICS nations, and even began soft negotiations with Russia's emergency services. In parallel, xAI software landed in data centers across the Gulf and Southeast Asia. And SpaceX? Its launch schedule now skews heavily toward international commercial clients, less reliant than ever on US government payloads. The response from US allies has been mixed. Germany launched a review into Starlink's operational independence. Japan delayed commercial rollout over governance concerns. Australia, in defense briefings, flagged Musk's selective Starlink shutoffs in Gaza and Crimea as potential security liabilities. None of these are bans, but the hesitations are mounting. Musk isn't just scaling globally, he's decoupling strategically. His ventures no longer run on Washington's timeline. They operate where market need and technical freedom align. The future, at least for Musk, isn't red or blue. It's multipolar and autonomous. So with the US in the rear view and the world wide open, what's the verdict? Final verdict, a clean break or just a reroute? Let's be clear, this isn't about rebellion, it's about realignment. When Tesla, Starlink, and xAI couldn't navigate the US maze, they took the off-ramp and found acceleration abroad. Tariffs, exclusions, and probes may have slowed down Musk's work stateside, but overseas, he's rewriting the playbook. This move is bigger than EVs or satellites. It's about defining who sets the rules of innovation in a world that no longer revolves around Washington. So let's bring it back to you. Is Musk's global shift a response to policy overreach? Or is it the natural evolution of a tech empire that's outgrown the US regulatory framework? Does this mean America risks losing its leadership in EV, AI, and aerospace if innovators feel boxed in? And most importantly, should companies like Tesla and SpaceX be beholden to national interests, or free to operate wherever they're welcomed? Drop your answers in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to Piston Pundit, your ultimate pit stop for deep dives into automotive evolution, global trends, and what's under the hood of tomorrow's machines. Thanks for riding with us. Until next time, stay curious and stay tuned. You can now check out any of the videos on the screen. There's plenty more to explore.